treat us as husband and wife. Your mistress will get married one day. One day, she will become someone else's beast mother, taking care of her husband and children. Ziran turned her gaze away from the stairs with an expressionless face and gave Xiao Yi a displeased look. She found that Xiao Yi, this little pervert, looked like a fool. King Cheng's love for you is written all over her face, but you can't even see it. You even said in a strong voice that you should keep your distance and that King Cheng will get married sooner or later. You can sleep alone tonight. I'm going to look for King Cheng. Ziran moved Xiao Yi's head away and ran upstairs with heavy steps. Xiao Yi's head hit the sofa heavily, looking confused. What's going on? What's wrong with these people? It's just washing feet. Why does everyone seem to be resentful towards him? Xiao Yi thought that he did nothing wrong as a person. One must have his own bottom line and principles. Sister King Cheng already has someone she likes, so of course he has to keep his distance. Sister King Cheng has other men in her heart. If Xiao Yi continues to have close contact with the Queen of Hang House, he will feel guilty and ashamed. What is that? He really thought Xiao Yi was old Deng who only thought with his lower body. Xiao Yi put his rough big feet back into the fine liquid brewed with the deep-sea fruit of the Holy Land, and said with a smile, "Little maid, continue to rub my feet." Zhang Zunan was a little angry, but also very obedient. She stretched out her soft and bowless little hands and started rubbing the rough big feet. Xiao Yi looked very enjoyable. It was really refreshing to soak his feet in the fine water made from the holy deep-sea fruit. A cool and comfortable feeling rushed from the soles of his feet to his forehead, making him feel refreshed and relaxed all over. The little maid who had reached the perfect quasi-emperor realm rubbed his feet carefully and considerately, and Xiao Yi was very satisfied. Be more forceful. Not enough. Heavier. This. I told you to put more weight on it. Don't add so much weight all at once. Go a little lighter. This guy is still being ordered around. If the recently deceased ancestor of the Wu family saw this, he would definitely be shocked. You are treated better than the emperor. Zhang Zunan was a little absent-minded, still thinking about her mistress. Xiao Yi looked down at the delicate maid who was rubbing her feet, and said with some anxiety, "Little maid, I have no one to sleep with. Meet a nighter and tea. You a little maid? Please warm my bed for me." When Zhang Zunan heard this, her beautiful eyes lit up and her attention instantly shifted back to her mistress. She said excitedly, "Okay, my lord." Now that she has become the lord's maid, she will do her best to do what a maid should do. Zhang Zunan is determined to become a little maid that the master and princess love the most. On the other side, on the top floor of the bedroom villa, after Ziren entered the room, she frowned and covered her nose with her hand. A room was filled with a strong smell of alcohol. She looked around and saw the Queen of Hang House, drinking alone on the sofa with a wine jug. Bu King Cheng curled up on the sofa, her face full of fatigue. She held the wine jug in her small hands and poured wine into her mouth desperately. The wine gushed out, splashing on her drunken face, sliding down her pretty cheeks, and falling on her white robe, making it wet without her noticing. Ziran walked over gently, sat beside her, rested her chin on her hands, and looked at her quietly. Seeing her best friend behave like this, Ziran felt a dull pain in her heart. Bu King Cheng's eyes were red, she was already drunk, and said, "Ziran, can I be with Xiao Yi?" Chapter 496. Bu King Cheng. Confess tomorrow. Ziran asked, "Why, do you want to be with my Xiao Yi?" Bu King Cheng was drunk, and expressed her true feelings of sadness and admiration. "Yeah, ever since I met him and he gave me a massage, I started to like him. Now he's almost fallen, and we want to take him down every moment. I learned a lot of ways to seduce him. Soaking his feet with him, wearing black stockings, and changing my white robe into a tight and slim-fitting one. I also wanted to help him every moment." Ziran was stunned. It turns out that King Cheng has already paid so much, and I only realized it now. A once domineering and cold Queen of Hang House has turned into an infatuated old maid for the sake of a man. She would change herself so drastically and learn shameful seductive techniques. And for a man. I was distracted. Ziran glanced at the Empress of Hang House, who was very drunk and spoke without thinking at this moment. She did not look like the Empress of Hang House at all. A drunken, infatuated girl. Bu King Cheng said, "Ziran, I will confess my feelings to Xiao Yi tomorrow and want to be his beast mother. Do you think he will agree to me?" Ziran was shocked. Confessing tomorrow? Maybe Xiao Yi told me everything. He has feelings for you. Especially your unique destiny template. He is very jealous of it. Bu King Cheng grinned upon hearing that, and her drunken and delicate little face was filled with happiness. But then, she felt a little resentful and dissatisfied and reached out to touch her long legs and proud body, and said, "He's just interested in my destiny template? I have a curvy figure, I can be domineering and queen, but he has no idea about me? My figure is not worse than yours, and my face is not uglier than yours. He can like a slut like you, Ziran. But he can't like a pure and innocent empress like me." Ziran's mouth twitched. Wow, he actually said I was a slut. Although she was a little wild in bed, she didn't look feverish at all in her daily life. Then Ziran curled her lips and said, "Maybe Xiaoyi likes a slutty girl like me. You are too serious, too domineering and cold, and you keep people away from you. Even if a man in the world is interested in you, he would not dare to approach you." Bu Qingcheng's eyes were red and misty. "But I have tried my best to change myself. I'm wearing black stockings. And let Xiaoyi tear my socks. Does he have no interest in me at all?" Ziran looked at her, who was about to cry, and said, "Of course Xiaoyi is interested in you. With your face and figure. Which man in the world doesn't like you? Xiaoyi is just a little pervert. He probably has had feelings for you for a long time, but because you are my best friend, he has never revealed it." When Gu Qingcheng heard this, her beautiful eyes lit up and her whole face lit up. "So Xiaoyi not only likes my template, but also likes me as a person. Ziran, I've decided. I will confess my feelings to Xiaoyi tomorrow. You must help me, by the way. You don't object to Xiaoyi and I being together, right?" Ziran nodded. "Why object? I will help you. I will create an opportunity for you tomorrow and give him some psychological hints to make sure he agrees to you. If he doesn't agree, I'll keep him out of my bed for 3 days. Gu Qingcheng. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow." As she was talking, she fell asleep, with the corners of her mouth still upturned and a happy smile on her face. The wine jug slipped from her hand and hit Aoran. All the wine spilled out, splashing on her body and flowing into her clothes. Ziran walked over helplessly, put away the wine jug, and then stripped Gu Qingcheng naked. She carried her into the bedroom, used her energy to evaporate all the wine, and threw her heavily on the bed. After covering herself with the quilt, she closed the door and went downstairs. After returning to the first floor, Ziran didn't see anyone. Where are Xiaoyi and Zhang Zunan? She released her spiritual thoughts and sensed Xiaoyi's breath. In the bedroom on the 3rd floor, there was still Zhang Zunan's scent in the room. These two scents mixed together, and no one knew what they were doing. Ziran's face darkened and he said angrily, "Okay Xiaoyi, I'll be gone for a while, but you can't hold back and attack the little maid." Qingcheng's problem has not been resolved yet. She went up to the 3rd floor cursing, came to the bedroom door, stuck her head out and looked inside. Ziran's pupils shrank. "My lord, how long do you need to warm the bed? It's ready, come down now." In the bedroom, Xiaoyi stood under the bed and spoke to the little maid on the bed. The little maid was lying in the quilt, smiling and saying, "My lord, do you only need me to warm your bed? Do you want any other services?" Xiaoyi had already noticed that Ziran was standing at the door, so he said calmly, "No need. Just warm the bed. I, Xiaoyi, am a gentleman and will never attack a little maid. Come down, quickly." Zhang Zunan landed on the ground, her face full of anticipation, and said with a smile, "Master, please get on the bed. I have warmed the quilt very warm." Xiaoyi waved his hand, indicating that it was time for her to leave. "I want to watch my lord get into bed," Zhang Zunan said. Xiaoyi pushed the little maid out and ran into Ziran, who was peeking at him at the door. He pretended to be surprised and said, "Sister Ziran, why are you here? Didn't you let me sleep alone?" Ziran snorted, "If I hadn't come, some old man might have done something with the little maid. I'm warning you, you have to conserve your energy these few days. You have something very important to do tomorrow." Xiaoyi nodded. It was indeed a very important matter. Ziran raised her eyebrows. "Do you know that Qingcheng is going to confess to you tomorrow?" Xiaoyi was stunned. "What? Who will Sister Qingcheng confess to? To me, or tomorrow?" Ziran thought to herself, "Oh no, this is not what he was talking about." She said everything. Xiaoyi was a little excited, but puzzled, and said, "Sister Qingcheng already has a perfect husband, right? I have only been in contact with her for half a month, so that perfect husband can't be me, right?" Ziran rolled her eyes, speechless. "Lie, I only knew you for half a month, and I fell in love with you. You can't use time to measure your love for someone. Otherwise how can there be love at first sight in the world? If it's faster, you'll fall in love with her at first sight. If it's slower, you'll slowly get to know her in life and fall in love with her over time. Take a middle value between fast and slow. It's reasonable for Qingcheng to fall in love with you within half a month." Xiaoyi was greatly shocked, and actually felt a little secretly happy inside. "I understand Sister Qingcheng is attracted to me. My charm is so great that she can't help but fall in love with me. Alas, being too good is also a kind of trouble." Xiaoyi grinned, looking very cocky. Ziran's mouth twitched. She stretched out her hand to grab his vitals, and threatened, "You must first promise me that you will accept Qingcheng's courtship tomorrow. Otherwise I will castrate you now." Xiaoyi. Chapter 497. The Queen of Hanghouse begins to confess her love. No, how could this be possible? His own wife held his life in her hands and threatened him not to marry another woman, and then she drowned him? If he had a mistress, it would be normal for his wife to castrate herself. Ziran stared at him with her beautiful eyes, gradually increasing the strength of her hands. and said, "Tell me quickly, do you agree or not?" Xiao Yi trembled all over. Is Sister Ziran serious? He straightened his chest and said nonchalantly, "Whether I agree or not is my business. Sister Ziran, if you want to castrate me, just do it. If you're willing." Ziran's face darkened. He withdrew his hand and said, "I definitely can't bear to let you go. If you become a eunuch, what will happen to my sexual happiness in the future? And will you accept King Cheng's courtship tomorrow?" Xiao Yi touched Ziran's hair and said with a smile, "Sister King Cheng, is she really going to confess to me tomorrow?" Ziran entered his arms, hugged him tightly, put her face on his chest, and said softly, "Yes, King Cheng told me that just now, and asked me to help create opportunities for her." Xiao Yi nodded, indicating that he understood the situation, and asked, "You want me to agree to Sister King Cheng, but what about Sister Yun Bing, Sister Yun Shi and the others? If I agree to Sister King Cheng, I will sign a contract with her one day, but if I recruit a new beast girl, it is not just my business, it concerns the whole beast girl family." Ziran choked on her words. She didn't think too much and pondered. "Xiaoxi and Xiaobing will most likely agree. We once swore together that we would marry the same man in the future and be good sisters for life. Think about it, when I wanted to be with you, Xiaobing didn't stop me when Xiaoxi wanted to be with you. Xiaobing and I not only didn't stop you, but we also tried to promote your relationship and let you be together. King Cheng is the eldest sister among our four sisters. If she wants to be with you, we will not stop you." Xiao Yi understood, frowned and began to think. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xia would most likely not stop it. That's easy. Seeing that he hadn't said anything, Ziran became anxious and said, "Kokathisli, Xiao Yi, just agree to King Cheng, I beg you. You just have to promise her that in the future, no matter where you are, what position you want me to learn, I will definitely satisfy you." Xiao Yi has already made up his mind to agree to Sister King Cheng's proposal tomorrow, but when he saw Ziran's appearance, he suddenly had the idea of teasing her. He pretended to be silent, raised a finger and said, "1 month from now on, you and I can only do exercise once a month. I don't need you to learn any postures." Ziran's face darkened. "Once a day is fine. But once a month, are you trying to get rid of me?" she said through gritted teeth. Xiao Yi sighed and said, "It would be great if I could quit, but it's a pity that I can't." Ziran's teeth were clattering, and she opened her mouth and bit his arm, saying in a hateful voice, "Okay, you really want to quit me? I signed a contract with you, and it hasn't even been a month, and you want to get rid of me?" Xiao Yi gasped when he was bitten. "Is Ziran a dog? He actually bites people." He almost cried out in pain, and hurriedly said, "Then tell me a number. I want to hear it." Ziran opened her mouth and snorted, "Once a week, no less. I have been a Huangda girl for 1500 years now. I am as vigorous as a wolf or a tiger." "Deal, Ziran?" Her head was full of question marks. Did she say too little? It should be said once a day. Xiao Yi said with a smile, "It's settled then. No regrets allowed. I have so many beast girls. If I agree to your condition, you can just be happy." Ziran thought about it, and felt that it was true. Xiao Yi had so many beast girls, and it was already very good for her to do it once a week. Xiao Yi continued, "I will agree to Sister King Cheng's courtship tomorrow. But I also have my own things to do. I currently need to find some resources and use them to summon a treasure is called the Space-Time Palace. The inside and outside are 2 different time and space. 3 years inside is equal to 1 day outside. It is a very practical top-level treasure." Ziran's eyes widened in shock. Time and Space Palace? Never heard of it. But isn't this just a training cheat? 1 day outside is equivalent to 3 years of training in the Hall of Time and Space. It's too scary. Xiao Yi nodded, "So I must get those resources for summoning the Palace of Time and Space. What do you think?" Ziran's eyes were burning, and he felt his mouth dry. He stuck out his tongue and licked his lips, saying, "What you think is what I think. If I have the chance to get this top treasure, I must get it." After they discussed things, they went to bed and fell asleep in each other's arms. The next morning, living room on the first floor, Xiao Yi asked Ziran to use his creative talent skills to materialize several simple breakfasts in the Magic City. Soup dumplings, sweet tofu pudding, spicy soy milk, heart-shaped fried dough sticks, etc. Zhang Zunan stood by, ready with paper towels, straws and plates. Wu King Cheng walked down from the stairs at this time, wearing light makeup, which made her already delicate and beautiful face even more delicate and beautiful. She also wore a brand new JK mini skirt and youthful white shoes, revealing a pair of straight and slender long legs and black stockings. Ziran sat opposite Xiao Yi and gave him a wink. Xiao Yi pulled out the chair next to him, looked at the Queen of Hanghouse with a smile on his face, and a magnetic male voice came out. "Sister King Cheng, come and have breakfast." Wu King Cheng was a little uneasy and nervous at first, but after seeing the gentle and friendly smile on Xiao Yi's face, she suddenly relaxed and walked over to sit next to him. Xiao Yi put a heart-shaped dough stick on the plate in front of her and said with a smile, "This kind of dough stick is a specialty of the Magic City, try it." Gu Qingcheng looked at the fried dough sticks in the bowl, which were actually in the shape of a heart. Suddenly, a blush appeared on her pretty face. "Yesterday, he was very cold to me. But today he was so warm to me, and even gave me some heart-shaped fried dough sticks. Is he trying to express something?" Ziran smiled. "Qingcheng. In the Magic City, only couples eat dough sticks." Gu Qingcheng widened her eyes. Xiao Yi also picked up a dough stick for himself and said as he ate, "Sister Qingcheng, eat quickly after breakfast. You still have things to do today that will affect your lifelong happiness." As soon as Gu Qingcheng picked up the chopsticks, her body froze, her beautiful eyes full of disbelief. How does he know that I'm going to do something today that will affect my lifelong happiness? Could it be that Ziran had already told him something? Ziran blinked and said, "Qingcheng, why are you standing there? Come and eat. We will make sure that what you are going to do today is what you want to achieve." Chapter 498 Empress. Xiao Yi and I kissed indirectly. Gu Qingcheng looked at Ziran and Xiao Yi with smiles on their face. Could she not understand that Ziran had already told Xiao Yi everything she was going to do today? She clasped her feet together shyly. Xiao Yi actually knew about the confession he was about to make in advance. Gu Qingcheng lowered her head and almost buried her face in the plate. She bit the heart-shaped fried dough sticks one bite at a time, feeling extremely shy. What does it mean that Xiao Yi gave her a heart-shaped fried dough stick? Ziran also said that heart-shaped fried dough sticks are only eaten by lovers, and said that her wish will come true today. The joyful voice of Gu Qingcheng sounded in my mind. "Xiao Gu, your confession is settled. That bitch Ziran has cleared the obstacles for you and provided psychological counseling to our husband. I guess that after you confess your feelings, our husband will most likely accept your confession. You don't have to think too much, just express your feelings normally." Gu Qingcheng paused, feeling secretly delighted, and said happily, "Really? That's great. Ziran is worthy of being my good sister. If this thing succeeds, she will be the biggest contributor." The soul of Gu Qingcheng's face darkened. "I am the biggest contributor. If I hadn't given you advice and suggested all kinds of ways to seduce men, would my husband be attracted to you? Without Ziran's help, my husband would have most likely been taken over by you after you confessed your love to him." Gu Qingcheng nodded and said, "Yes. You are all the biggest contributors. You have all put in a lot of effort and thought. Thank you for your hard work." Xiao Yi took the straw from the maid, inserted it into the spicy soy milk, handed it to the Queen of Hanghouse, and said with a smile, "How can we eat dough sticks without soy milk?" Gu Qingcheng took it and her face turned red when her small hand touched his rough big hand. She bit the straw and took a few sips, almost spitting it all out in one gulp. "It's so spicy, it's so spicy." Gu Qingcheng fanned the wind with her white and tender little hands, pouted her rosy cherry lips, and kept exhaling. Ziran scratched his head and said embarrassedly, "This is the devilish spicy soy milk, Qingcheng. You will get used to it after drinking it a few times. If you have diarrhea a few times, you will like this soy milk." "Diarrhea?" Gu Qingcheng widened her beautiful eyes and felt a little doubtful about her life. Is this spicy soy milk made from devil pepper really edible for humans? Can it really be eaten for breakfast? You have to have diarrhea several times before you can eat normally. Xiao Yi was a little puzzled. Is it really that spicy? He took the spicy soy milk that the Queen of Hanghouse had just drunk, and regardless of the lipstick marks left on the straw, he put it directly into his mouth and took a big sip. Hiss. Xiao Yi felt as if his mouth was stabbed by thousands of sharp knives, and it was burning with pain. There was no expression on his face. Ziran asked curiously, "Xiao Yi, how is it?" Xiao Yi handed her the spicy soy milk and said with a casual smile, "It only has a light spicy taste. Try a few sips." When Gu Qingcheng saw Xiao Yi drinking the straw she had used, the blush on her delicate little face became even more intense. Is this considered an indirect kiss? I kissed Xiao Yi. I was so shy, but I felt an irrepressible excitement inside. Ziran took the spicy soy milk with a suspicious look, pulled out the lipstick-stained straw with some disgust and threw it away, opened the lid, raised her little head, opened her mouth and took a few big gulps. Ziran sprayed out directly, splashing all over the ground. "It's so spicy, so spicy, so spicy." While fanning herself in the cool breeze, she glared at Xiao Yi with her beautiful eyes and said angrily, "Xiao Yi, you actually tricked me. I'm telling you, I'm angry." Xiao Yi waved his hand and materialized a glass of cold boiled water, handed it to Gu Qingcheng, and said with a smile, "Sister Qingcheng, rinse your mouth to relieve the spicy taste." Gu Qingcheng pointed at the angry Ziran and said, "Why don't you give it to Ziran?" Xiao Yi shook his head. "Ziran will materialize on his own. You drink." Gu Qingcheng's face lit up with joy. She took the cup of water happily and drank a few sips with secret delight. "Xiao Yi actually gave me the cold water. Does this mean that in Xiao Yi's heart, I am more important than Ziran?" Ziran's beautiful eyes were staring as if they were about to spit fire. Xiao Yi said, Sister Ziran, conjure up 2 glasses of cold water. I want to drink. Ziran was stunned. What a guy. It's fine if you don't give it to me. But you also want me to materialize it and give you a cup? Seeing that the situation was not good, Zhang Zunan hurriedly took 2 empty cups, poured 2 cups from the kettle, and said with a smile, My lord, Sister Ziran, please have some water. Ziran pursed her lips and said with a smile, Little Nanan is really considerate, like that guy who gave the cold boiled water to his wife's best friend instead of his own wife. She gave Xiao Yi a fierce look. Xiao Yi rinsed his mouth and said, It's okay, she's my wife, it doesn't matter who she is. Upon hearing this, Gu Qingcheng froze in her action of drinking water. Xiao Yi means that I am also his wife? Today's confession is a sure thing. The corners of her mouth curved up, happiness written all over her face. 10 minutes later. Breakfast was finished. Ziran moved closer to Xiao Yi, put her small hand into his shirt, twisted the soft flesh on his waist fiercely, and whispered, Xiao Yi, you just found a new love, and you're ignoring me. Your old love, I've only been with you for a month, are you tired of me so quickly? Xiao Yi gasped in pain and waved his hands hastily. No, don't think too much. Ziran took the opportunity to propose a condition. No, you have to compensate me, reward me once today, and it won't count towards the once a week. Xiao Yi's face turned awkward. Okay, I promised you, isn't that enough? Let go. Ziran snorted and then let go of his hand. Gu Qingcheng coughed and winked at Ziran. Ziran understood and said, Xiao Yi, the sun will rise soon from the roof of this palace, you can see the whole view of Hanghouse. Let's go up and enjoy the sunrise of Hanghouse. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. No, is there anything good to see at sunrise? Ziran glared at him. Are you going or not? Xiao Yi was stunned. Do I have to go? Ziran nodded and said, We must go. Zhang Zunan also echoed, My lord. You must go. What is so good about the sunrise? What's important is who will watch it with you. Even though Xiao Yi was a fool, he now understood something. He glanced at Gu Qingcheng, whose beautiful eyes were full of expectation, and immediately understood. Okay, I haven't watched the sunrise for a long time. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll go watch it. Ziran took Xiao Yi's hand, went upstairs, and landed on the roof of the city lord's bedroom. A Hanghouse city lord's mansion is located on a high ground, and the sleeping palace is built on the top of a mountain. From the roof of the sleeping palace, one can see the whole picture of Hanghouse city. After reaching the roof, Ziran pushed Xiao Yi out. Xiao Yi staggered into the circle of love that had been prepared on the rooftop. He looked around, seeing the gorgeous scene of fresh roses on the roof, and became more and more certain that the Queen of Hanghouse was going to confess her love here. And the person he confessed his love to was none other than Xiao Yi. Chapter 499. Empress, I declare to you that I want to be your beast mother. The entire roof was covered with thorny bright red roses, leaving only a double passage in a heart-shaped platform. At this time, the breeze was refreshing, blowing on my face, making Xiao Yi's hair fly. A red sunlight penetrated through from the other side of the mountain top, and the faint brilliant light shone on his body, brushed across his angular and handsome face, and fell on the bright red roses all over the ground. Xiao Yi. At this moment, a crisp and pleasant sound came from the stair door. He turned his head and looked, and his eyes almost popped out. Gu Qingcheng's beautiful eyes were full of spring. Her pretty face was slightly flushed. She wore a black high ponytail, a J-cane miniskirt, mysterious and high-end black stockings on her long legs, and casual white shoes on her feet that showed her youthfulness. She held a handful of the most colorful roses in her hands, entered the double passage, and walked slowly towards him. As for Ziran, she had no idea where he had gone to peek. Ziran and Zhang Zunan were lying on the top of a mountain in the distance at this time, with their 2 little heads exposed, and their pretty faces looking at them excitedly. Here it comes. The mistress is going to confess her love. I'm so excited. The 4 of us sisters finally married the same man. We are good sisters for life. I feel a little excited. In their sight, on the rooftop in the distance, Xiao Yi had a smile on his face and stared at the Queen of Hanghouse who was walking towards him. Gu Qingcheng walked into the love platform, holding fresh fruits in both hands, her face flushed, and said, Xiao Yi, Xiao Yi raised his eyebrows. What are you going to do? I like you. I want to be your beast girl. Gu Qingcheng shouted in her heart. But when she wanted to say it, she found it difficult to speak and felt so embarrassed. Xiao Yi looked at the hesitant Queen of Hanghouse City and took the initiative to speak for her, encouraging her. Sister Qingcheng, if you like it, just say it out loud. If you don't say it, how can others know what you think? Gu Qingcheng gritted her teeth. Xiao Yi, She was a little angry. Why couldn't the words come out of her mouth? Gu Qingcheng, the spirit, gave her psychological counseling and said, Xiao Gu, treat this as a very normal thing. Just say it naturally. There is no need to be nervous. Gu Qingcheng took a deep breath and responded in her mind, okay. Seeing her standing there in a daze, Xiao Yi said, "Sister King Cheng, can you hurry up? I want to pee." Wu King Cheng was stunned, then quickly said, "I'll be done soon, please hold it in and don't pee in your pants. It won't take too long." "Xiao Yi, he was just joking. And you took it seriously?" Wu King Cheng adjusted her tone, her voice sincere, and she whispered from the bottom of her heart, "Xiao Yi, I like you, can I be your beast girl?" After she finished speaking, her delicate little face was full of anticipation, and Xiao Yi's figure was visible in her beautiful eyes. Xiao Yi blinked and said, "Sister King Cheng, can you speak louder? I can't hear you clearly." Wu King Cheng was confused. How could she not hear clearly at such a close distance? So she gathered her strength and shouted in a firm tone, "Xiao Yi, I declare to you, Gu King Cheng, can I be your beast mother?" The sound soared into the sky, swept out, spread throughout the entire city lord's mansion, and continued to echo in the distance. On the top of the mountain, Ziran and Jiang Zunan were surprised when they heard the voice echoing in their ears. The two looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. Wow, the mistress is so tough. She has to shout so loudly to express her love. Does she want everyone in Hang House to know? This best friend seems to be deeply in love with me. She put aside her pride and shouted out her love like a tweeter. Sister Ziran, do you shout so loudly when you confess your feelings? Me, I don't have the courage. Xiao Yi and I told him secretly in the room. Wow, did you say that in bed? You're also a pervert? Sister Ziran. Nonsense, who confessed in bed? Shut up. Sister Ziran, did the mistress's confession succeed? Xiao Yi hasn't replied yet. While the two were whispering, in the huge city lord's mansion of Hang House, the soldiers who were defending their posts and the auntie who was cleaning the ground all heard Gu King Cheng's bold confession. They looked towards the bedroom in shock. This is the voice of the Empress. Fuck, what did the Empress just say? Who did she declare? And she wants to be that guy's beast mother. That person's name is Xiao Yi. Didn't you hear me even though I was shouting so loudly? Xiao Yi? Isn't that the thief who was in Hang House a while ago? He actually captured our Empress. It's not that thief is pretending to be the Empress's friend. Damn, so the Empress is really tempted by human desires. Then what do you think? Will Xiao Yi agree to the Empress's confession? Of course I agree. She's the Empress of Hang House. Maybe soon we'll be able to have a seat at the Empress's wedding banquet. Inside the city lord's mansion, some people became listless, while others became extremely excited. In the center of the city lord's mansion, on the rooftop of the city lord's bedroom, Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. I told you to speak louder, but I didn't ask you to yell. You're making my ears almost deaf. Gu King Cheng was very nervous. She handed the rose in her hand to Xiao Yi and said carefully, "Xiao Yi, did you hear clearly? If you didn't hear me clearly, I can confess again." Xiao Yi's face darkened, and he quickly took the bouquet of roses and said, I heard it clearly now." Gu King Cheng breathed a sigh of relief. "So what do you mean?" Xiao Yi took a step forward, holding the fresh fruit in his left hand and holding Gu King Cheng's soft waist with his right hand. He stared at her closely with his starry eyes, and said seriously, "I promise." Gu King Cheng's delicate face was full of surprise. Her legs became weak as her sensitive parts were hugged. She said, "Then go pee. I'm done with my confession." Xiao Yi raised his eyebrows and said, "It takes me 10 minutes to pee. Do you want me to go?" Gu King Cheng's face showed a conflicted look, and she said, "Why don't you just hold it in? I want to hug you for a while." Xiao Yi, I was just kidding you. How can you leave now? Even if you want to go to the bathroom, you have to poop in your pants. Gu King Cheng burst out laughing. It's not as serious as you say. Xiao Yi smiled and said, Sister King Cheng, do you really want to be my beast mother and sign a contract with me? Gu King Cheng nodded. Of course. No matter how many beast girls you have, I want to be your wife. Xiao Yi's mouth corners were cracked with laughter. Almost to the roots of his ears he blew towards the delicate lobby of the Queen of Hanghouse City and whispered, Sister King Cheng, close your eyes. Gu King Cheng's delicate little face turned red in an instant. An old maid's blush is better than any love words. She had seen many action art movies and knew what Xiao Yi was going to do next. She immediately closed her eyes and her eyelashes trembled. She pouted her rosy little lips, looking ready for you to pick her. Seeing her like this, Xiao Yi's appetite was aroused. So he went straight up to her. Chapter 500 The Shy Queen of Hanghouse. On the top of a distant mountain, two delicate bodies lying on the ground stood up. Zhang Zunan's little face was full of excitement, and she said excitedly, Kiss, kiss. The master and the mistress are finally together. That's what I said, they are a couple. No one can break them up. Zirang glanced at her. When did you say that? By the way, Ying Chang and Xiao Yi are officially together. I want to record this precious moment. She flashed and appeared on the roof, standing not far from Xiao Yi and the others, and set up the camera. When Xiao Yi and Gu King Cheng were confronting each other, There was a click, freezing this beautiful scene. Bu Qingcheng's eyelashes trembled as she felt the hot softness. Her graceful body trembled violently. Xiao Yi felt a cool and sweet taste on his mouth. A rough big hands unconsciously hugged the slender waist and pinched it gently twice. Bu Qingcheng's whole body went limp, her legs became weak, and she collapsed on Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi looked at the red face of the queen of Hanghouse and thought she had a fever. He didn't go deep, just kissed her gently and said with a smile, "Don't worry. There will be plenty of time later." Bu Qingcheng said, "Cocathus lie, you pinched my waist. I can't walk anymore." The soul of Gu Qingcheng was watching in the sea of consciousness. Her mouth became dry and a little fished, stretched out of her mouth to lick her red lips. "Xiao Gu, how do you feel?" she asked in her mind. Gu Qingcheng's somewhat shy voice sounded in her mind. "I feel sweet in my heart, just like eating candied dates." "Excellent." The soul of Gu Qingcheng rolled her eyes and said brightly, "How about I control the body later, so that I can experience the feeling of having sex with my husband?" Gu Qingcheng immediately refused. "No, I haven't kissed you enough yet. I'll let you come after I've kissed you enough. In the future, you have already tasted the saltness of your husband, and you are still not satisfied." Gu Qingcheng's pretty face darkened. "I've been guarding an empty room for 100 years, and you think I've had enough?" Bu Qingcheng's face froze. She almost forgot that in the future she would be an unsatisfied and resentful woman. Although she was her husband's beastly wife, her husband would rarely favor her in the future. "Old Gu, don't worry. I will make up for all the favor you lack. Once I am satisfied, I will let you control my body." The soul Gu Qingcheng nodded and said, "You must keep your word. Gu Qingcheng, once the old maid has spoken, it is hard to take it back." Chen Gu Qingcheng's mouth twitched. "You said you are an old virgin. It is not easy to satisfy you. Can your husband bear it?" Xiao Yi looked at the delicate beauty in his arms, not knowing at all what shocking and ferocious conversation she was saying in her mind at the moment. He walked to the fence, facing the warm light with Gu Qingcheng, and said, "Sister Qingcheng, how many men have you liked?" Gu Qingcheng shook her head. "No, there has never been a man who made my heart beat faster before. You are the first one. I have lived for 500 years, and I have been either practicing or fighting." A strange look appeared on Xiao Yi's face. "Then how did you deal with loneliness in the past?" Bu Qingcheng's pretty face turned red. How should she answer this kind of question? I've never been lonely." Xiao Yi curled his lips. "Ziran told me that he saw electronic toys in Liu Bei's book on your bedside." Bu Qingcheng widened her eyes. "Ziran actually told Xiao Yi all this?" She was a little anxious and said, "I haven't used that." Really, having just been with Xiao Yi, she was afraid that it would lower her impression in Xiao Yi's mind. Why? Because she cares about Xiao Yi's opinion. Looking at the anxious beauty in his arms, Xiao Yi put away his teasing thoughts and said with a smile, "I believe it. You haven't even unpacked the toy yet. Ziran told me everything." Gu Qingcheng breathed a sigh of relief and lowered her head. "It's so embarrassing to talk about these embarrassing topics when I just got together with him." Xiao Yi looked at her with a smile and said, "If you feel lonely in the future, you don't need to take a cold shower to calm down. Just come to me directly." Bu Qingcheng nodded. "Yeah. I don't have to hold it in anymore." "That's great." Xiao Yi thought for a moment and said, "I'll find a time for you to meet my beast girls. You need to make preparations. Let me make it clear first. I don't like my beast girls to have conflicts and intrigues. When you meet them, get along with them harmoniously." Gu Qingcheng smiled and said, "I know my limits. I, Gu Qingcheng, am not the kind of jealous woman." Xiao Yi smiled. "Whether you will be jealous or not is not just something you say. I hope you really won't be jealous." He glanced and saw the two women hiding behind the door, and said, "Ziran, little maid, what are you doing there?" Ziran and Zhang Zunan came out smiling. "We didn't see anything just now. You guys continue." Xiao Yi was speechless. "You were sneaking glances the whole time and telling lies with open eyes." Bu Qingcheng clasped her feet together in embarrassment. Everything was seen. Ziran simply stopped hiding her feelings and said happily, "Qingcheng, I didn't expect you to be such a tough person." The sound of your confession was almost heard by the whole city of Hanghouse. "I just took a picture for you guys. This is it." She took out an original photo without any beautification or processing from her pocket and handed it to Gu Qingcheng. Gu Qingcheng took it and looked at it. A smile unconsciously appeared on the corner of her mouth. In the photo, she and Xiao Yi were hugging each other and kissing each other. The golden sunlight shone on them, making them shine brightly, which was very beautiful. "Do you want it? If you want it, I'll give it to you," Ziran said. Gu Qingcheng put the photo directly in his pocket and said, "It was originally mine. I want to keep it." Ziran smiled and said, "I printed several copies and sent them to Xiao Shi and Xiaobing. By the way, Xiao Shi and Sister Yi Zier will probably come to Hanghouse today. They are all Xiao Yi's beast mothers. Sister Zier and I had our weddings at the same time, but Xiao Shi and Xiao Yi haven't had their weddings yet. You two should find a good day, and you and Xiao Shi should marry Xiao Yi at the same time." I think Hanghouse is a good place to hold the wedding. Wu Qingcheng widened her beautiful eyes. Getting married so soon? Ziran curled her lips and said, otherwise, you can wait. But Xiaoxi can't. Xiaoyi came to Hanghouse for work the day after he and Xiaoxi got together like you. She didn't spend much time with Xiaoyi. Xiaoyi was a little surprised. ZR is coming too? That's perfect. She has collected all the resources to upgrade the template. Today is a good time to upgrade her template. Sister Ziran, tell Xiao Bingbing she and the others to stop practicing and rest for a while, after I gather the resources and get the Palace of Time and Space. You can practice together in the Palace of Time and Space. Ziran's beautiful eyes lit up, and she clapped her hands happily. Great. Bingxi and Xiao are training every day against the clock, and they are so tired that they must be dead. It would be good for them to take a break. Once you obtain the Palace of Time and Space, you won't need to practice day and night. Humans are not machines. I will take them all over now and you can reward them well. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. If he took all of them, would he still be able to get out of bed? He waved his hands hurriedly and said, just take Sister Yan Shi and Zier over. I still have to give Sister King Cheng a massage today.